Good morning. Welcome to another move sesh. Another magical move sesh. Coming from Disneyland. Last one of this week. And then I will see you all next week on Tuesday. I'm going to be finishing at 5 before the hour today. All right, here we go. Oh, where's the volume? So twisting. Volume.
Swipe to the top.
Okay.
Swipe to the top of the screen.
One sec. There we go. Thank you.
Rest. Exercise. Get ready.
All right, let's try that again. Here we go. Somebody's still in bed here. It's only 6:25 here. So starting with nice easy twists, loosening up that spine. Oh, loosening up that spine. My back is tight. Loosening up the hips a little bit, just getting some blood flowing, getting moving a little bit, especially if you're doing this super early. I know Ashley, you do these really early. Waking up the body, waking up the mind. I say like the biggest battle is getting the mind prepared versus the body prepared. The body is the easy part. Just going into some nice marching, lifting those knees. Remember to go at the effort and pace that feels right to you for the level that you're at right now, where you're starting from, or even just for today, what today feels like to you. You know, maybe you're full of energy and you feel amazing and you're going to crush it, or maybe you're tired from being at Disneyland all day yesterday and staying up too late, having too much fun, too much type 1 fun. Actually, I would say the first half of the day was type 1 fun, the second half of the day was type 2 fun. So this first round we do low impact, low no impact, and you can keep your effort at this level for the entire warm-up, or you can increase intensity with me. I'm going to be adding a little bit of intensity on the second round. Remember, there's no pressure to do everything that I'm doing. If you're not here yet, today will be a fairly easy, not easy, it's never easy, relaxed session, as the last few have been, shorter session. If you have weights at home, you might want to grab them for today. I don't have any here with me, but what I'm going to be doing today, you can increase the intensity level if you have weights. Resistance training is important. As we age, it becomes increasingly important, especially for women, for so many reasons. If weight management is your driving force, your motivator, then it is especially important, but for so many reasons, not just for the body composition. Obviously, like when you use weight, when you use resistance, you build muscle. And the more muscle you build, a couple things. First of all, your body composition changes to be more lean muscle mass, lean body composition. But also, muscle actually burns more calories at rest. So the more muscle you have on your body, the kind of higher you can rev up your metabolism and be more efficient when you're at rest. But there's a number of other reasons why it's so important to build muscle. We lose muscle, we lose Okay, this is where I'm going to be adding a little hop as we age. That is just a fact. So whether you work out or not, you're going to reduce muscle mass as you age by including strength training or resistance training into your routine. You can mitigate and kind of slow that process down. This carpet is so like I don't know, fluffy. So turning our side steps into jacks, or you can keep it at side steps, whatever feels right for you. I would like to keep it at side steps today. It was a long day yesterday. I was actually reflecting later in the day. I don't know how those cast members stand all day. Like, my legs and feet were so tired. You know, you'd think I'm in pretty good shape. I run for many, many, many miles, but Disneyland, whew, my legs were pooped. You too? At the end of the day, and I thought, oh my gosh. And it's the standing, it's not the walking. Disneyland's so much smaller than Disney World, so I feel like there's less walking around, which is nice.
Exercise.
But there's a lot of standing. So I messed up. There was a attraction at each park. So today we're going to the other park called California Adventure. And in California, Disneyland Resort has 2 parks. In Florida, they have 4. We have not been to the parks. So our last trip, what am I doing? This was 2019. No. When did COVID start? 2020. 2020. Okay, so we were in Disney World for our annual trip. We are Vacation Club members. We go every single year and have for many years.
Exercise.
Literally my favorite time of the whole year is my trip to Walt Disney World in March. We typically camp for a week and then we stay at a resort for a week. Anyway, we were there when COVID kind of dropped the hammer on the world in March of 2020. And that particular year, we didn't do parks. We don't always go to the parks when we go.
Rest.
Okay, last round. High impact this time. So if you have any energy today, lift those knees. Let's go as hard as you can during this round for whatever that looks like today. Maybe that's a low, no impact. Maybe you are going all in right now.
Exercise.
Anyway, so we haven't been to the parks since probably 2019. This was a lovely feeling walking into Disneyland, or what in Florida would be called Magic Kingdom yesterday, and walking down Main Street, USA.
Rest.
Okay, not rest. Butt kicks, get those heels up. I need somebody to let me know when it's 6:55. Anybody? One of you 3. I have company here. You can't see them on camera. Nobody wants to be on camera. So they're all hiding in the corners. Except for Dixon. He doesn't mind. Oh, not yet.
Done. Great workout. You spent 8 minutes 47 starting your Tabata exercise.
Your Tabata. So adding a hop to these. So anyways, we haven't been since before COVID, of course, obviously. So it was a great feeling to be back there, but that wasn't the point of my story. The point of my story was that a lot has changed since the parks reopened after COVID. And there's 2 attractions, one at each park. So yesterday's was called Rise of the Resistance, which is a Star Wars, right, attraction, which is very sought after. And so what they do is you can only ride this particular attraction by entering into a virtual queue, which you have to do at 7 a.m. You have to get into line on this virtual queue at 7 a.m. Or if you miss that one, because you basically have to be ready to go on your phone at 7 a.m. to get in line, and then they'll call you when it's time to go ride the ride. And I'm not sure if it's just a crowd control thing, because Disney is like NASA when it comes to crowd control, or if it's a COVID, like not having, because the lineup would probably go like out the front gates because everybody wants to ride this ride. So I couldn't figure out how to do it yesterday, and so lo and behold, I didn't get us into line. And then if you miss the one at 7, you have to try again at noon. So I did. So I got into virtual line at noon, and unfortunately, we did not get to ride.
We got called after we left, right after we left.
Because they actually ended up shutting the ride down for a bit when it got pretty close to our time. And then we got called after we left already. So we were all exhausted, and it's like gone are the days when the kids need the naps. It's me that needed the nap yesterday. Okay, so we're going to start with, so we're doing more of resistance today. So if you have weights, you might want to grab them. We're going to start with side lunges or side squats. Okay, ready? Oops. And this is to stretch out my really sore legs. Okay.
Starting your top and on workout.
So we're going to do one side at a time. So we're going to start with
exercise.
This side. Okay. So if you have bad knees, you might want to do side squats that look like this. If you have a weight, grab it and hold it. And if your knees are good, you're going to squat right down, focusing on that glute on this side.
Rest.
Try to stretch out my hips a little bit from yesterday. So now we're going to go do the other side for the next round. So we didn't get to ride. My boys
exercise.
were very good about it. What my boys weren't good about, specifically my 15-year-old, was riding Alice in Wonderland.
No.
He was adamant. We were all tired, and we had done a lot. We did a lot yesterday. We got to see almost everything, but the one thing that we hadn't done yet was Alice in Wonderland. And my 15-year-old boy was not having it. We were not leaving until we went on Alice in Wonderland. So we went and lined up in another enormous line. Actually, it wasn't that bad. It was probably about half an hour. And we all agreed that it was actually a pretty cool ride, so we thanked him after for, but we did see some humor in the fact and irony.
Exercise.
Also, when my kids were little, so I had 4 kids, he was the one that would not go on any rides, like nothing. Did not want any part of having any fun at the parks. If you're familiar with Disney, you know there's an iconic ride called Dumbo, which every kid wants to, every parent hates, every kid loves, because every parent knows that you have to stand in line for this ride for 45 minutes to an hour, sometimes longer, to take your kid on this ride. Yvonne, did you guys go on when you went to Disney? Anyway, he wouldn't go on. He wanted to just sit in the Dumbo statue that was just on display in front of the ride. That was, anyways. he still wasn't a lot of fun. He didn't want to go on any rides that he knew were scary, yet walked right onto rides blindly, having no idea what they were all about, and ended up loving them. So, anyways, I digress. Today, there's another ride, a new one called the Avengers Campus at California Adventure that I have to get into lineup at 7 a.m. and I'm it's an experience. Crossing my fingers that I get on this time because we have to leave by 3-ish to head to the airport because tomorrow we leave for Mexico, which is why we're here in the first place. I just managed to make a slight detour on our way to Mexico and stop in California. The thing was, we had to stop somewhere because there was no direct flights to Mexico. We have a direct flight home. We couldn't get a flight to Mexico. We had to stop somewhere. So I figured if we have to stop somewhere, why not California? Why not Disney? I tried for Orlando. The flight's good. That didn't work out. There's round one. Of course, you went on Dumbo. You have to go on Dumbo. And my parents talk about the days like now. They've actually created this mecca. I don't know what to call it. Not mecca, but around Dumbo. Okay, so we're gonna go right into lunges next. No, we're not. We're gonna go into. I'm trying to remember what we were supposed to do. Okay.
Florida's got the circus.
Starting your Tamanat workout. Get ready.
Florida has the circus now.
Okay, we're going to
Exercise.
these guys. So again, if you have weights and you want to use weights, these, you do not need weights for these. And probably my butt's gonna hurt. So you want to go this way.
Rest.
Okay, so we're gonna do the other side now. So you want to keep the chest up, and as you lean forward,
Exercise.
you want that back leg to come up. So we can call these 747s, and you can play the part by bringing your arms out to the side. If you're using a weight, what I would do is hold it like this. What you don't want to do is let the weight drag you down, because you want to hinge. So yeah, so my parents' days, the torture of Dumbo was that Dumbo was all exposed in the sun. And Florida is hot and crowded, and so it was very unpleasant experience for parents, but kind of a rite of passage. Like you had to do it.
Rest.
My parents still talk about my sisters just begging and begging and begging to go on, which none of us really understand. None of the kids even had ever seen Dumbo the movie, so it's not like they were Dumbo movie fans, and it's not really that exciting of a ride. I guess they like that you can control the thing and go up and down. Nobody really understands the appeal, but there's this magnetic appeal of the Dumbo ride. Anyway, in Florida, what they did was they built this story time circus tent with a jungle gym for kids to play in while they were in line. So you get a beeper, like kind of like at a restaurant, and you go play in the. And so what happened was my kids didn't actually want to go on the Dumbo ride anymore. They just wanted to play in the lineup queue. Anyway, Grayson has never been much of a rides person, but we walked in yesterday and we just kind of jumped on everything in kind of logistical order.
Exercise.
And the first ride was the Jungle Cruise. Indiana Jones was the second ride. Nobody had any idea what we were getting on. Dixon, I'm not a fan.
I thought it was a casual boat.
Grayson, again, I'm not sure where his sense of adventure came out of nowhere yesterday, but it was still
Rest.
it was still tainted with his. He gets his non-fun side from me, I would say. Do we have one more?
Exercise.
Yeah, one more. Dangerous to have too much fun. He brings the buzzkill to the party.
Do you not?
No, you didn't yesterday.
Rest.
Okay. I needed these today.
Exercise.
So we're doing more of not an intense workout today, not a cardio, but more kind of strategic in that these are all, we're going to be doing glute bridges next. Great activation exercises to ensure that the right muscles, almost like a physiotherapy kind of
Rest.
idea of a workout. Subtle, right? All workouts don't have to be hard, painful, no pain, no gain. Okay, we're going right into glute bridges.
Great workout. You spent 4 minutes.
Okay, and we're going to
70
do
seconds
alternating
exercising.
legs. Alright, so you're on the floor. And here we go.
Starting your Tabata workout.
So you're going to have
Get
one
ready.
leg up.
Exercise.
And you're lifting. We didn't make it on Dumbo yesterday.
Rest.
Don't you want to go on that?
Luckily, you didn't even want to go on Dumbo with the kids, so.
Exercise.
Okay, other leg now. So you want to make sure you're mindfully and intentionally, you want to squeeze that right glute, the glute that's the leg down. For me, it's my right leg. Keeping that knee pointed straight up. So keeping your knees in alignment. Pulling in the core, pulling in your belly button.
Exercise.
You can give yourself a little calf stretch at the same time by pulling the toes down. Squeeze and lift.
Rest. Exercise.
So we didn't make it on to, there was two, my boys have never seen Star Wars Land because we hadn't been to the park since they built that. So that was really, really cool for them to see. But there was the two attractions were Smuggler's Run and Rise of the Resistance, which is the one that we didn't. We did make it on Smuggler's Run. So
Exercise.
I have a motion sickness issue. I have a bit of like I get motion sickness, not day to day. I used to struggle with it quite severely when I ran. I haven't had any episodes. It's almost like a vertigo thing. I'm not really sure why, but I'm also, those of you who are in your 40s can probably relate that rides feel scarier than when you were 20s or 30s. I don't know. Anyways, I did not know what I was signing up for. All I knew was like, we need to go on. Well, my husband bowed out because he somehow had the notion that it was going to be a small enclosed space. And he has a bit of an issue with that. So it's me and the boys. So suddenly I got the idea that this is one of those simulation rides with where they warn you if you struggle with motion sickness or dizziness, you shouldn't be on this. The things we do for our kids, honestly. So we're in line, and I'm thinking, this is the absolute worst type of ride that I could possibly be on with my issues. And The worst part about those free rides is they say you can't close your eyes. Like, you have to keep your eyes open.
Because you have to control the ship.
Because the dizziness gets worse when you close your eyes. Anyhow, my boys wouldn't go on without me. Dixon wouldn't go on without me, and I didn't want him to miss out, so I went on. Well, when you're in line, they designate roles for this ride, and there's 6 of you in, like, you're flying the Millennium Falcon. For those of you who are Star Wars fans, those of you who are not, it's like a big spaceship. And they designate 2 of you as pilots who sit up at the front with nothing but this glass
Great workout.
flying into space. And you're in charge of the movement of the ride, and that's the cool thing about the ride, but not the cool thing when you have motion sickness. Okay, last one, we're doing plank and boat. So I got designated as
Starting your Tabata workout.
a pilot. My youngest son was a gunner.
And he was insane.
I didn't know what any of these things were. All I knew was that I was a pilot. Grayson was a pilot. I thought, I don't know. I don't know if I want to be a pilot. I don't want to be in charge of anything. But then I thought, well, I don't know if I want other people to be a pilot, because we were with another family on this ride, and I thought, well, what if they like steer the ship all over the place and make me even sicker? So I thought, well, it's probably better if I'm a pilot. And then there's 2 engineers, and they sit at the back, and I don't really know what they do, but they were the mom and the daughter that were on the ride with us. There was this mom and daughter, and then myself and Grayson and Dixon. Grayson and I were the pilots, which meant we sat right up front with this huge window in front of us, careening through outer space.
You were supposed to be
at very high speeds, and I was supposed to be driving this thing. Well, I couldn't figure it out, and so I just closed my eyes and hung on for dear life and waited for it to be over. And my son was beside me, yelling at me. So apparently, I found out afterwards, I was in charge of the right and the left movement, and he was the up and the down movement. So we didn't make any turns. We did go up and down a little bit because he was in charge of that. And then, I don't know, I was supposed to push some buttons and pull some levers, so he reached over in front of me and did that for me. And then they were like totally embarrassed and disgraced with me after the fact, because I think a good portion of the ride is the maneuvering of the ship. I don't even know. I couldn't understand. We got 15%, which I don't know what that means other than I don't think we did.
of our ship health left.
I don't think we did very well.
We lost 85%.
We lost 85% of our ship running into things because I didn't steer.
It was just a simple mission.
Well, every time I tried to steer, like, the ship would like literally like go careening, like I can't even tell you, through space sideways. It was terrifying. I figured it was better just to go straight and run into stuff, and that way I would minimize my risk of getting sick.
Did you end up getting sick?
No, because we stayed straight. Every time we turned, it was terrifying. I should have been an engineer at the back of the ship. I could have just sat in the fetal position and waited for it to be over and had no responsibility.
They had actually no responsibility. They had to grab the container that we needed.
Oh.
We were supposed to line it up for them. Which you had to do. Did you not listen to the instruction video?
I didn't understand what they were talking about.
It's 9:55.
I feel like, okay, thank you. We're almost done. 6:55.
Oh, okay. I'm still on.
Okay, we have a couple more. And then I'm leaving you on your own to finish Grand Slam. For those of you, we did our lunges at the beginning, side lunges, but those were our lunges. We're doing plank and boat right now. We did our jacks, and you're on your own for the rest while I go try to redeem myself from yesterday and get us into the lineup for the Avengers Campus. And that's it. Thanks for joining me, folks. I will see you all next Tuesday. I appreciate you all keeping me accountable and keeping me moving while I'm away, and wishing you an awesome, awesome day. Have fun. Happy Tuesday.